Hi there.
Hi there.
Welcome to Transistor.
Oh my god.
We're just gonna cut right to the chase. Also, this loading screen took like
Half an hour.
almost a minute, so I cut like.
Oh, so it's got like
I'll get Chuck in
that
that loading
Sonic
screen.
06 loading screen length.
But just for that one.
Oh, okay, that's good.
You gonna wake up? Okay.
Oh,
We're not gonna get away with this, are we?
So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it.
I like the art
we
style.
stabbed a dude.
Come on, pull.
Oh, pull stuff.
There.
now beat someone
Together
with it.
again. Sort of.
So we play as Red,
Oh,
What a night. You're still in one
and
piece.
our
That's all
sword
that
talks
matters.
to us.
Is there
We
a...
have a
weird.
talking sword.
Yeah, do you have your audio on?
No.
Welcome
I
back.
didn't realize that it was the sword that was talking.
welcome back to Sonic
Yeah, it
and the
lights
Black
up.
Knight.
Yikes. Found us already. They want you
So
back, I bet.
this is the process. It's the main enemy of the game. There are robots that want to manipulate the world. There's going to be a lot more of what actually happens later on.
Is there a way to turn subtitles on? I forget.
I
Probably
forget.
Probably be good for this LP.
I will look into that.
Okay, let's go. Unmarked alley. East of the bay. I think I know where we are.
Sword is what I'm going to call him for now. Does talk a lot, and he's basically your, hey, let's go here now.
Look, don't fret. Just
So he's like Navi, but hopefully he isn't annoying.
No, I think he's like the. Who's the one that lives in your sword?
He's that corpse we were stabbing.
No, he's more like the fuck. I forgot her name. The one from I think Skyward Sword, I believe it was.
Oh,
He?
Fee.
Yeah, she like lives in your sword, doesn't she?
She is your sword.
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go.
So one of the major mechanics of this game is you can
Time freeze. Time stop!
time freeze,
Chaos
and then you can perform actions, and then some of your abilities won't work for a set amount of time until your bar refills. So it's an action RPG with turn-based elements.
I didn't really know that this was like the gameplay based on what little you explained to me about this game. That actually looks really good.
That's because it's a good
Yes.
game.
Wait,
It is an excellent.
when did
game.
this game come out?
blocks away.
2014.
It was like early into this
The
generation.
empty set.
Is this some sort of like cyberpunk
Better
kind
get
of
as far
world?
from there as possible.
Yeah,
Kind
Eh.
of.
it looks
No, I mean,
very cyberpunk, actually.
So it's more Rapture
Block party up ahead.
with
we go.
like robots attacking rather than mutations.
Right.
Also, all the robots have different names. So the little white one is called a creep. There's jerks, young ladies, cheerleaders, weed. Well, we'll get into all those.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Oh man!
She awake?
And then something that you will do
You
is
okay?
you'll come across people who have been
Sure.
Dead.
they've
She wants to come along.
they've been deadified by the process. You can add them to your sword, and then they become abilities.
She says hello. Her name's
Ah, so this is the sequel to Box Boy.
Let's see.
More like the
We'll take
prequel.
Why do you think it's coming afterwards?
Wish it was raining. Cover your tracks.
1967.
Rain's not even on the
Wow.
ballot.
So we can vote on the weather.
What?
Scattered clouds
Oh.
trailing this time.
We lost.
Where were we? Watch out.
Oh shit. Who put these enemies here?
I will. I will
God.
think about.
God put the enemies here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but
Gross.
Gross.
What?
I need to play this game again. It's been a long time.
that's why like I was like, I'm gonna LP this. Fuck it. I want to play this game again, and
I wish I had bought the Switch physical when that was a thing on Limited Run.
for those who are wondering, yes, that is how I'm playing.
I was gonna say I could tell that this had to be a Switch version because it had your ABXY.
Yeah. But specifically, it's the physical version.
Nice.
Ooh, another terminal.
Oh.
Cloud Bake Fashion Week not happening, huh?
Rip.
3 days this time.
Ooh, it's going to be 3 days, guys.
Huh.
We can RSVP.
Maybe next year.
Oh, I guess we're not going to attend.
We weren't even given a choice.
Ought to keep heading east.
There is some like little humor in this from those terminals, which is why I'm going to try to hit up as many as I can, just because there's like story of like the overall world, as well as like some little humor.
A poster.
Oh hey, it's us.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, Red. They took your voice. I couldn't
Yeah.
stop them.
We can't speak.
Yeah.
Well, we took something of theirs. Hey, let's just go.
Oh, by the way, the soundtrack to this game is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
This is like one of
That's a young lady.
the better soundtracks from the past decade.
That's saying quite a bit.
I was gonna
A
say,
whole
there's
ass
been
decade?
some pretty decent soundtracks.
Yeah. A whole ass.
So young ladies will leave a like shadow of themselves and like jaunt away. So it's recommended that you hit them first and then use your turn ability.
Huh.
Because as long as they have their shadow, they can't like jaunt away.
Oh, so like you hit them and they fucking instant transmission out of there.
Yeah, but they will drop a bunch of cells.
That explode apparently.
Well, they turn into like corrupted
Process.
cells that you have to then destroy. Yeah.
Oh.
If you don't pick them all up.
That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen a pickup become an enemy if you don't get it quick enough. They sound like they're buzzing, like they're a bunch of bees.
I mean, they are the small little worker grunts.
Okay. Side
They're
street
dedicated.
through there.
For anyone who doesn't know, SuperMassive also worked on Bastion, Empire, and Hades, which is, I think, it's either coming out soon or it's not out yet.
You gotta use your time stop.
Wait a sec.
I gotta keep
Yeah.
control this.
Well, duh.
About how long would you say this game is?
As,
6 hours?
Let's pretend that never happened.
I actually don't remember.
How to beat
Oh, time to eat another box.
Transistor. How long to beat Transistor? 6 hours for the main game.
Yeah, I was right.
For a completionist, it's 15 and a half.
Wow.
But a completionist run requires 2 playthroughs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Oh no.
That's a jerk.
It's not super
Cut
long,
off our escape.
Can we murderify him?
but it is like a $15 game, I'm pretty sure.
That's still really good for $15.
So we have Jaunt now, which lets us dash through stuff.
You gotta hit him in the back.
I mean,
Yes.
Sega sells Sonic games for $40 and they last 4 hours.
So something that you might start noticing is when you go into turn, it'll show like the damage stacks, like how everything like should play out, unless the enemy gets like a defense off. If you do certain abilities in tandem with each other, so they will do more damage. They'll like form a combo and do more damage.
And you also
So if you use like crash and then the bombs or something like that, they'll stack more damage on top of each other than just using them by themselves.
It's saying how much it'll do when you go into like turn-based. Reminds me of a lot of strategy RPGs, actually.
Yeah, this is very similar to some of those. You can also, you can line up your attacks how you need to.
Well, something it doesn't take into account, it takes damage into account, but the thing is that it only calculates all the damage you'll do if every attack actually hits.
Yes.
Actually, now that I think about it, the turn-based mode, where the fact that you can still like move around and line up the attacks, it actually reminds me of Hyperdimension of Tunia, because that has a very similar turn-based mechanic.
Oh yeah, when we level up, we can also pick between a couple functions to add in.
Functions.
We're still here.
Mask is useful.
Oh?
Okay.
And then when we hit these save spots, we can actually utilize them. There are 3 different slots that you can equip things to. So you can have your 4 main skills, and then you can take other functions and add them into other functions.
Oh.
And then you can see sort of what they do. And then there's the ones on the sides as well. We'll get to that later.
This is where...
So we can add...
Yeah, this is where what you were explaining, I was getting lost. I was like, what?
I want to show you something.
Yeah, so you can mix and match functions, and it changes the gameplay a lot.
So you have your skills, and you have augments to those skills.
Yes, but they all are technically the same thing, because I can use mass by itself, or I can augment it into something else. All the functions can be intermixed.
Yeah.
This is a Jerk 2.0.
Oh man, he's so jerky that he gets a second version.
Yeah. Something else Transistor does, which we won't be playing around with too much in this run, is you can actually add things to turn up the difficulty of the game, which in turn will give you higher experience yields.
You level up faster, but they give you more shit at the beginning.
Yes, and the fights become very hard. I'll show off that, but I won't do a whole lot of that in this run because one, this is a fresh run, so I don't have very many functions. It's really recommended to turn more of those on in a second playthrough.
That was quick.
Because it does stuff like adds shields to cells after they come out, so you have to hit them before you can actually pick them up.
Yeah.
Or they add more enemies. The enemies are higher level.
Or they simply just hit you harder.
Yeah. But there's a bunch of different ones. There's 16 of them, and you can turn them on and off as you want.
So there's a decent amount of depth to this game.
Here he comes.
Yeah, there's tons.
Get away from him.
In between, your all the different functions, and putting on those restrictions on yourself. There's a lot going on. Plus, as Jack mentioned earlier, wonderful soundtrack.
The enemy designs are really
Yes,
nice.
it's gorgeous.
I like the overall visual aesthetic of the game.
Yeah, and then it has a good story. It's just not in your face about it.
It's more subtle.
Yeah,
Yeah, good call.
which is why we need
That's
to
our way
turn on.
To go to the terminals to get a little bit more flavor out of the game.
Okay.
Bike.
Well, there's that, but I need to turn on subtitles
Yeah.
in part 3.
Right. Do
Oh yeah. Don't turn left.
Thanks for the lift.
Oh.
Whatever you do, Jack, if you turn left, I swear to God.
Oh,
Jack's
don't worry
not the
about
one
me.
playing this game.
Jack, if you turn left,
You're going to get spanked.
Hi. You turn left.
Jack, you turned left.
God.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
we were gonna skip town.
Listen,
Back there. You met these
Bike.
things. They do not have a sense of humor.
Anyway, we're gonna fight the process.
Down, wipe you out, and take whatever's left of me back to those 2-bit Camerata pieces of
And
trash.
the Camerata is like the main antagonists of the game.
Look, whatever you're
So
thinking,
we're gonna go
do me a favor.
back into the major of the city, like into the
Don't let me
main
go.
parts of the city, and try to take down the Camerata. So that's the goal of the game.
So the whole scope of this game takes place in one massive city.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So we will see you guys in part 2 when we dive a little bit deeper.